So a lot of people have questions. What is a smoky eye? Well, a traditional smoky eye is something where there is a darker shade at the base of the lash diffused all the way up to the brow. I feel like one of the better smoky eyes is starting with a neutral tone, and if you want to go in more intense, you can definitely add more color here on the lid and then fade it out. So I like to start with a softer one and then going to dark. One of the most important things to do for a smoky eye, just like your foundation, is to start with the primer. So what I like to do is put a primer on the back of my hand. I get my ring finger. I apply it to the lid and just gently put it all over the eye. The reason I do that is because it makes the eyeshadow last longer. It helps it prevent from creasing, and it makes the impact of the color really show. So you really want to work it in, take it a little bit up, and it creates a barrier to prevent it from creasing. After you've applied the primer, what I like to do is get a neutral tone. Maybe we'll mix two. I'll do this one and this one, back and forth. Flick off a little bit of the color. I can flick like this. And then right under the brow, add it and then just blend it to the center. The reason I chose a fluffy brush is because I really want to get the color deposited and kind of in a wider space of the eye. So she has really beautiful eyelids and eye space. It's true. And I just want to make sure I can maximize the color. Next, I chose a soft brown that I'm going to put right in the crease and diffuse it upwards. A really good way to find your crease is to tilt your head back, and looking down, you'll see naturally where your eye folds. What I would do is add the color there and just smoothly go back and forth like a rocking motion and blend it up. Starting on the outside, going in and taking it back up. So this is going to be your diffusing shade. So it's going to make everything look a little bit softer and come together. I like to start with a creamy pencil. This is a jumbo one, and really just kind of place it on the lid. You don't have to do it too nice. You do want to make sure to get to the root of the lash. And then I'm going to blend out the cream. I like to use the cream base because it really helps pick up the eyeshadow that I'm going to put down. So I blend it out evenly across the mobile lid. Using a flat end brush like this really helps move the pigment around because it's a little bit denser. So this one's shaped really nicely because it has a little bit of a square to it but round at the tip, so it makes it really easy to blend. I add a little bit of the color to the back of my hand, and I get a blending brush, and then I start taking it up. Really moving the color around to make sure when we apply the shadow that we want on the lid, it really gets that impact. Sky has really beautiful blue eyes, so I'm going to go ahead and choose kind of like a goldish tone to really make them pop and bring out the gold. So I'm putting another type of flat dense brush and packing it on the lid. And I'm really using the flat end of the brush to press it in. Pressing, pressing, pressing all over. Next, I'm going to go back with my blending brush, and I'm really going to fill in just a little bit more now that I have the color on the lid, and I'm blending it outward and up. A lot of people use circular motions. You can definitely do that too. I do outward and up, a little bit of circular, and take it in. The point is to make sure everything looks seamless and diffused. So you'll see it's starting to look like it's fading out. I'll do a little bit on this side. So I'm placing the color here. It was the same soft brown that we started with from the vanilla. So going here, blending it in, up and outward, and fading the color into the brow. Now, I like to do eyes first when I'm starting a smoky eye because we're going to get a little bit of fallout. Don't let the fallout distract you. We'll get a Q-tip and we'll clean it up and really help define it after. So here we go. This is our initial base. I'm going to get my Q-tip, which I put in micellar water, and just take it under the eye, turn this way, and really just kind of clean up any fallout that would have happened. So this is an initial smoky eye. What I want to do now is take a little bit of liner and diffuse it to really make it smoky. So now I'm going to go in with a chocolate pencil, and I'm just kind of lay it on its side where you would put liner, and really just kind of lay it on there. Then I'm going to use a brush like this that's a little bit dense, and I'm going to close. I'm going to just kind of move the color around to make sure that it looks really smoky at the lash line. Just really swiping it over. You can do it kind of messy and just kind of make sure it blends in. And from here, you can add mascara to really knock it up. One of the most important things to do when you're doing mascara on someone else is to use a disposable applicator for sanitary purposes. But since we're just using this on Sky, I'm going to use this one straight from the tube. So I'd like to take some off the edges because it's a newer mascara. I like my mascara a little bit drier when I'm doing a smoky eye to really get a thicker lash. Close your eye for me. I like to do mascara with eyes closed so I can really get in the root. So what I like to do is I go up, out, in, and up. The way I like to complete my smoky eye is I like to get a pencil, the pencil that I used here, put it on the back of my hand, place it on this brush, look up. So I like to start on the outer corner, look up for me, and really just start here at the end of the eye and just take it in just a bit. And I start about middle point where the pupil is and just kind of keep swiping it back and forth. You can take it in and it'll just make the eye a little bit more diffused. So you know what? Since you're seeing this one, let's go ahead and take it in just a little bit further. So really just kind of taking it down and around, making it very smoldering and almost like seductive, as opposed to this side being a little bit more almond. So we started from a softer shade under the brow, a transition color in the middle, faded up, a color on the lid that's a little darker, and then I use the liner and really diffuse it to make the lash line and the lash root look dark and sexy. So the two different smoky eyes that we're doing is one that ends right in the middle of the pupil, and it's just kind of giving it a softer, sexy eye. And over here we've got a smoldering eye, which is more seductive, bringing it down and around and really emphasizing the smoke here.